Good evening, and welcome to the 15th Spotlight Show. I'm Rich Rebecki. I'm the Public Relations Director at the current History Museum and on the Executive Board for the Museum Learning Center project. Jan Loyder, our regular host, has the evening off. Tonight we're continuing something special. 3 months ago, we brought in an organization that has close ties with the museum, and tonight is no exception. As a matter of fact, the relationship that the museum and the men and women that are here tonight is exceptional. And it's my pleasure to have as guests tonight members of the St. Genevieve Lions International Club. And much like what we did 3 months ago with the Rotary, I find it's best to allow each member to introduce themselves, starting on my right with Butch, working around the table, ending up with Terry, and then we'll get into this evening's programming. So Butch, if you care to tell us who you are and how long you've been involved.
Well, I'm Butch Stevens, current president of the Lions International St. Genevieve chapter right now, and I've been a member for 12 years. And it's been an exceptional 12 years for me. It's been an eye-opener just to what the Lions do. And to my right is Debbie Macklin.
Yes, I'm Debbie Macklin. I've been involved with Lions since about the mid-'80s, a little bit before that, just helping out, so I had a chance to learn some of the ins and outs before I actually joined. I agree with Butch. It's definitely an eye-opener. We hear all the time that they say the Lions Club is the best kept secret, and I hope that we get rid of that tonight. So, to my right, Greg.
I'm Greg Tucker, and I've been a member for 13 years. And like Debbie, I spent 3 years helping out as a volunteer before I joined the club. And my brother-in-law actually got me started on a snowy Sunday morning when he called me up and needed a way to the Lions Club breakfast. So I picked him up, and I've been helping out ever since. To my right is Dean Bryan.
Thank you, Lion Greg. I've been a member since 1987, and it took me about 2 to 3 years to figure out what Lions does, their function, their mission, and once I figured out it is solely about helping people prevent blindness, and basically we help a lot of people throughout the world. But anyway, I've been a member since 1987, and worked my way up through the organization, past virtually everything, and you've got to dedicate yourself to what you want to believe in, and I believe in the Lions.
Thank you, Gene. Lion Gene. I'm Mike Powell, and Lion Gene got me into this organization.
I had a brain fade.
Okay, okay. I've been in the organization, and I'm very proud to say for 4 years now. Just run a couple of events, but I enjoy all the people that I am involved with. And I'm happy to say that I'm probably the youngest pup here. Right, Jack?
That's about right.
Lion Jack, I'm sorry. Lion Jack.
All right, Jack Donsley. I've been with the Lions about 13 years. Got involved in a lot of activities. Hadn't had time to get involved in the local activities until I retired and moved back here, and seems like we've been busy ever since. So, Lion Terry, what about you?
Been 2 different stints as a member of the Lions Club, close to between 15 and 20 years. I was on for a number of years, and got away for a while and then got back involved in it. So on my second stint, like between 15 and 20 years total. And a big reason I've got a sister who's completely blind, so what better reason to join? Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. And we'll do our best tonight to let everybody know that you folks are no longer the world's best secret, because This show, although it's being broadcast now live on a local station, it will be archived on YouTube, and it will be part of the Museum Learning Center spotlight shows. And if we can manipulate the 501c3s and put them all together, then it would be a lot easier to find. But before the evening is over, we'll try to get people comfortable in finding this 2 or 3 days from now. And as long as there's a YouTube, there'll be the spotlight on the Lions International Club. Now, there's probably a million questions I could ask. And with my luck, it's probably questions that you're not prepared to answer. So I guess it would be best, Butch, since you're the sitting president, this is your show, folks. You enlighten me, you enlighten the viewing audience. So, Butch,
Okay.
take it away.
Well, first of all, I've got Lion Debbie to my right here. She's going to kind of give us an introduction and start us off on what the Lions is about and mainly the Melvin Jones. So take it away, Lion Debbie.
I am going to make one correction. I'm pretty sure I said I've been a member since the mid-'80s. It's more like the mid-'90s or so.
But you were helping at all this other time.
Yeah, but anyway, so I want to talk a little bit, just, it's not the most interesting thing about the Lions Club, but it's pretty important. Melvin Jones. In the early 1900s, Melvin Jones was a young man living in Chicago, and in 1913, something like that, he began an insurance business, and he got involved in a business circle, which was, a businessman's lunch club, which seemed to be a very popular thing. It was mainly a financial thing for the members, and he just had bigger plans than that. He felt like these people were successful because of their intelligence and their ambition and their drive, and he wanted to get them to start using that to help their communities. So, long story short, he started working with all these people, and it expanded out, and June 7th, 1917, Lions Club International was born. So that doesn't tell you anything about what Melvin Jones Fellowship is. The Lions Club is the largest service organization in the world. There are over 46,000 clubs in almost 200 countries and geographic locations. There's 1.3 million members. It's just, you can't go anywhere without finding a lion someplace. And the average person wouldn't have a clue, but I think there's people here that, I always look for the signs. It's like, oh, they got a Lions Club here. It's just such a great organization. So the Melvin Jones Award, or the Melvin Jones, is the highest, what do I want to say? Let me see what I have.
Highest achievement.
Yeah, it's the highest form of recognition that is given to an individual for their dedication to humanitarian service. That is what we're about, is our humanitarian service to the world. And so it's quite the Melvin Jones Fellowship pretty much supports the Lions Club International Foundation by donations into that. It's, the thing, somebody else I'm sure is going to get into this, what all we do as far as local and internationally. So I'm not going to get into that a lot. I know we have a brochure that tells a lot about what we do. But I didn't want to do this so much because I don't like to get in front of people and talk, but you're right, I could sit here and talk for the whole hour, so I'm going to be quiet and move on
You
to.
just keep going.
You're right.
Somebody
Yeah.
talk about, we want to get out some of the things that we do locally and why we do them and how it comes back into our community, so.
Before we go any further, I do have a question, and it could be answered by anybody, and it could be answered now or later in the program. But with so many organizations worldwide, are we looking at the organizations as interchangeable pieces? So if there is a Lions Club in Sacramento, California, are they doing basically on a national level what the Lions Club in St. Genevieve, Missouri are doing? Or is there a basic function that, or belief, motto, mission statement that covers everybody, and then the locals do their own thing once that's met? Or on a global scale or a national scale, can you move to a different part of the country and do what it is you're doing now?
Exactly.
Definitely.
Very much so.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Internationally, the thing that is a real big thing to me is that if there's a major disaster anyplace, the Lions people are probably the first ones to any one of those scenes. And I'm not saying that just because, but they are. And that's what, we donate a lot of things internationally, nationally. What we do here for ourselves, you know, for our community, somebody in St. Louis might not do any of that. Their projects might be entirely different. Their money might go someplace else. It's all still for vision. You know, we've gotten into hearing, diabetes. There's numerous things, but obviously eyesight is the top of the line, and that's international.
But the local, all of these local clubs support the international, so that when there's a disaster, they've got the funds to go out and help out
Correct.
and take care of it.
So,
So there's about 6 main organizations that we support that are nothing to do with the local, what we do locally. Right?
so your reach is far more,
Far more than local.
not only that, but it's more than the bright yellow lion boxes you see in post offices or hospitals. There's a lot more to the Lions Club than somebody dropping off a pair of glasses that they don't.
Worldwide.
Worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide.
And not just
No.
with an eyesight.
A local example was when they had the tornado through Prairieville.
Mhm.
Okay, we had several locals went down and helped with the cleanup. And there was, what, 50 chapters, something like that, of Lions clubs that showed up at Prairieville? Something like 50 different chapters in the state of Missouri that showed up to help with the tornado victims in Prairieville.
Yeah.
So we bind together also.
And then the international, then on top of that,
Right.
donates, sends them additional cash that's come from all over, all the organizations, comes out of the central pot, let's say.
In 1993, the world-famous flood in
Flood.
St. Genevieve,
Yep.
Lions Club, I was a secretary, and Lions Club International called and said, what can we do to help? Boom. And they made, we were able to buy pressure washers to clean up after the flood to help people and several other things. But Lions Club International called and said, what can we do to help for St. Genevieve? And they helped. So, and right now, with the wildfires in California, Lions Club's right in the middle of it.
Right in the
They
middle.
are supporting it, and they're, you know, they're not fighting fires, but they're going and bringing supplies to help the firefighters and help the victims of the fire. So,
Humanitarian support.
yeah.
And that's made possible by all of these clubs contributing to that central fund, so they can do that.
So I'm assuming that there's individual dues that are part of the organization? Does it, and a portion of that dues goes to the international, or is that something, you know what? Let's hold that question. Let's erase, because that's something that's something we can get into the actual, working format. We'll get into that a little later.
Well, next we kind of want to explain how we raise our money
Perfect.
to help support all of this stuff that we do and what we do for the community and everything else. And we'll start with
Well,
Lion Greg.
one thing I'd like to add is the Lions Club is non-political and non-religious. And we were the only organization allowed into China when they had an earthquake years back on account of that fact. And it's just a unique club. Each club has its flexibility to come to the needs of their community. Whatever their community needs are, they're there to take care of them. But I'm here tonight to talk mainly about the Lions Club breakfast. And in the community, strong with tradition, like our French culture and the Wagioni and our winning football teams and baseball teams and our hard work ethics in this community. I mean, anybody can leave this community and find a job. All they have to say is you're from St. Genevieve and they'll hire you as a carpenter in St. Louis, just like that. I mean, it's a community that takes pride in taking care of each other, and people come for that fact to, I think, to help out the breakfast. We have members that live away from here, and they'll come back just for that event. I mean, we might not see them too much at the local meetings, but they'll come and work at the event just because they want to see their friends. There's several father and son memberships here. I can think of 3 of them right now. We have a tradition with our breakfast and the fact that we've been doing it for 75 years. And the only other club in the United States with a longer history than that is Cape Girardeau. They have about 10 years on us. Excuse me. With our breakfast, people come out, some of them come out of curiosity, trying to figure out what the Lions Club is. Normally we have an information table set up, and in the last few years, the Lions Club has developed videos and discs that we play at the breakfast, so while people are eating, they can find out what the organization's all about. We've pretty well, with the being our 75th year coming up, it's pretty unique that it's been that long, and we pretty well maintained our same breakfast of pancakes and sausages. And that's what the International Lions Club has been known for all through these years. Each year, when you said pancakes, and associate pancakes with Lions Clubs, because that's basically every Lions Club does that as a fundraiser. Helen Keller, back in 1925, asked the Lions International to become Lions of the Blind. And then when that happened, well, the organizations decided to back her up, support that, and that's when they took on to take care of the blind. I think I've talked long enough. I think I'm going to pass it on.
Well, actually, I do have a follow-up question about that. I've been to the breakfast, and it's nothing short of amazing. One silly question, for the 75th, are we going to get an extra sausage with the plate?
Well,
No, because that'll cut into the profit margin.
Nice try.
Maybe the cooks will make them a little bit bigger.
There's talk about changing the menu a little bit. Years ago, they had ham and bacon at the breakfast and potatoes. I don't know if we'll go that far. That's a lot of work involved there, but yeah, we'll probably do something different this year for our breakfast.
Now, is it a special day within a special month? Is it a calendar date? Does it float like, Monday holidays?
It's a floating date. Most of the time it's in the third week of February. I have to coordinate with the school, when the cafeteria and everything's available through the school. It's always held at Valley Cafeteria. and it takes some planning with their busy schedule there to get squeezed in sometimes. But it's been working out real good for like the third weekend of February.
So that's something that the viewers of this program should keep in mind. Another step to making sure that the word of the organization gets out, that look for February, possibly the third week.
Yes. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Lion Gene?
How much time we got?
Oh, we got all kinds of
Oh, we got all kinds of time.
We're not hurting for time.
Anyway,
If in the middle of your speech I say thank you and good night, then you know we've gone. You've gone a little long, and we're up against the clock. But go ahead.
but I will reiterate, I'm a long-term line member, and it's due to the fact that we help eyesight. And I could never imagine being blind, but we do it. That's our goal, is help blindness and prevent blindness. But anyway, my goal coming up for Jour de Fête is promote Lions at the Lions Park. And at the Lions Park at St. Genevieve, at Jour de Fête, it is the place to be because we have great food, cold beverages, and shade, and total seating. And
Live music.
Entertainment.
Live music.
and plenty of entertainment. But people will come, like Lion Greg said, people will come in and they'll say, I'll meet you at the Lions Park. And they kind of splinter off, do the shopping at Jour de Fête, and they'll come back to Lions Park, and boom. It's a place to meet. And we've got live entertainment Saturday, 12 to 4 with Bruce Denninger Band. Mix of easy listening, rock, country. 6 to 10, we got Stingray, 80s and 90, current music. And then on Sunday, we've got live music from 12 to 4 with, oh baby, Jonathan Badley Brand, country music. And we have hot food, seating, good entertainment, and that's a place to stop and take a break. So, but at the Lions Club, Jour de Fête is our major fundraiser. And when we're done with the fundraiser, it is all going to get dissipated to whatever charities need funding. I mean, we work hard and we give it away. Simple as that. But our goal is to help needy people and prevent blindness. And I like my eyes, and I can't imagine being physically disabled because I couldn't see to read a book. So, and one thing I will say, there's a lot of kids through the school district that the St. Genevieve Lions Club support them, and we buy them glasses. A teacher, a school nurse will say, hey, this student needs glasses, the family can't afford them, boom, we're going to take care of it. And the kids will write us a note back, and it's the most beautiful notes you'll ever see. Thank you for letting me see, and I can read my books now. Simple as that. And that's what Lions do. I mean, we help people. And like I said, I've been a long-term line member, but once you figure out what they do and you dedicate yourself to it, it's a done deal. You know, gotta stay with it. Line Mike?
Thanks, Lion Gene. Excellent. I am involved with the Lions too. I'm not so involved with only being around for 4 years, but enjoy working with everybody in the club. Pretty excited about everything that goes on. I think it's for a great cause. There are a lot of clubs out there, and I come from St. Louis County, where there were a lot of organizations that were not, can't really even hold a candle to what the Lions do. It really is an incredible organization. Getting back to the Jour de Fête, We're trying this year to hold a grand raffle. I'm trying to promote this. We have flyers. Lion Deb printed some flyers out for me. We've got them around town. We've got some ads running in the newspaper. The tickets it's a high dollar ticket, and I know Valley School District does it also, but they're $100 a ticket, and we're gonna sell no more than 200. So it's a $20,000 take, and the winner, single winner, gets 10 grand. And the club gets the rest. This will also hopefully be put into the, register, and we'll distribute it or donate it or whatever we have to do with it. Now, if we don't sell 200 tickets, it's a 50-50 raffle, just in the event. I've had a lot of people call me, not a lot, a few people have called me about how are the ticket sales going, not interested in spending the $100 if they're not gonna get $10,000. So it's a 50-50 raffle. That being said, those that are curious about the sales, if everyone was curious about that and didn't want to buy, knowing they weren't going to win 10 grand, we wouldn't sell anything. So we're looking for people to come forward. We've got a week and a half yet. We're getting close to our goal, but we've got a lot of tickets yet to sell and a lot out with the club members that we don't know if they're sold or not. But actually, this is the first year we're trying it. If it works out, I think it will be for a great cause. I went through growing up without glasses. And you don't realize what you don't see. It's incredible what you can see once you put on a pair of glasses. Athletes, kids in school, it's unbelievable how much more educated and how much further advanced people are when they can see the leaves on the tree and not just a big hunk of green. So it's a great organization, and I'm very thankful to be a part of it. Also, what the Lions Club does is, and this is my third year, I guess, chairing, it's an Easter egg hunt for the kids, and it's free of charge. It's a way to give back, I think, to the kids in the community and the surrounding areas what their parents have worked so hard to accomplish. They've given and donated us their money by coming to our events, buying soft drinks, buying beer, buying food. So this is a free event for the kids, and it's always Holy Saturday, the Saturday before Easter. It's up at City Park, and it's free of charge. The Easter Bunny comes out. We have thousands and thousands of eggs, candy, prizes. We've had a lot of donated prizes. We gave away 4 bicycles last year. A lot of stuffed animals, a lot of chocolate, a lot of candy. It's just a good time, and everybody here comes up to help. And it's probably an hour long. That's how involved everyone is. They come up to help. Now, Lion Deb and some of the people that have involved themselves with helping me organize this, of course, it's a lot more time involved, but for the kids to have such a good time for an hour is pretty much an incredible situation. We're going to do that. I think this is I think you said 75 years. I thought last year was like our 75th year, and this was going to be our 76th year, but it's been a lot of years that we've done this, and we're trying to improve it every year. We're coming up with some nice gifts, nice presents, nice prizes for the kids, and I think it's just a good way to give back to the children of the adults that donate so much to this club. Lion Jack?
Before you go any further, can I just interrupt? One thing on this raffle that people need to understand, you don't have to spend the $100. If Terry wants
Right.
to put in 50 and I want to put in 50, or we want to go 4 ways, that's perfectly fine. So don't feel like
Right,
it's
thank
going
you.
to cost you $100.
It's like playing the lottery at work.
That's
Everybody
right.
takes.
That's
Sure.
right.
Sure.
So,
Thank you.
sorry.
Appreciate it. No, thank you.
Fine, Jack, and it was a great turnout this year, and you had a lot of nice prizes for those kids. Those little characters getting those bicycles, man, they were
It was fun, wasn't
they were
it?
jumping up and down.
They had a good time. Yeah, it was fun.
They were jumping up and down. Okay, well, we're to the Rural Heritage Day, and this event is a little different than anything else that we do in that it involves so many people. If we've got 45, 50 Lion members working, we've got 150 people total that's involved in putting this event on. And I wish my phone wasn't ringing right now.
That's a quarter.
Throw it on the floor and I'll stop.
I will give her the quarter now.
Wait a minute,
Sorry
tonight
about
it's
that.
more expensive.
In a Lions Club, if this were our official meeting, I'd be fined right now.
Really?
That's what she's making a note of. In any event, we've been, this will be our 10th year for this activity. And it all came about, we were at a sale up in Columbia, horse and buggy sale, and we were talking with some people from the one of the organizations up there, and they were talking about all of the an event they had been to up in northern Missouri, and I guess it was Luann and John Fowler and myself and Richard, and then we said, hey, this might be something that St. John and we could do for St. John. So we came back and talked to the Lions group, and they said, yeah, we'll sponsor it. So we got talking and working on this project, and we wanted it to be something that's informal and something that's interactive and educational, and something that we could get all the local people involved in. A lot of the activities that go on, we have a hard time getting the local people involved in. But this, we've pretty well done that with this group. Not only the Lions, but also the Lost Acre Tractor Club. They're a big asset in helping us put this on. It's a one-day event, and it's always on the fourth Saturday.
I was just going to ask you.
Fourth Saturday of October. This year it's the 27th from 9 to 5. We've got over 30 artisans, crafters putting on their demonstrations. We've got things for men, we got things for women. It's pretty well rounded out. The Tractor Club, they'll put on a antique tractor show. They do a parade through town at 10:30. Then they have other various activities going on at the field across from the Amarillo House. This event goes as things in town going on, as well as down along St. Mary's Road. So mainly what's uptown is our activities for the ladies. We've got people demonstrating lace making and crocheting and rug making and spinning and candle making and I guess a lot of shopping. And then down along the St. Mary's Road, we've got fellows doing custom leather work, wood carving, chair making, blacksmithing, beekeeping. The Audi family, they always put together the apple cider. They make apple ciders and apple butter and some soap. Got a fur trapper that comes in and shows about trapping and tanning the furs. Got a farrier that comes in and makes the horseshoes as well as puts them on the horses. Got corn shelling. We got hit and miss engines. We got a hit and miss powered windmill, and I think you told me we were going to have a sawmill this year.
That's what they were talking about over at Wine Garden Sunday.
Okay, that'd be great. And new this year, we got the St. John Militia's going to set up. So we'll have the militia. We cover a pretty good time span here. We got the militia now. We got the Civil War group setting up, and they have a camp, and they work with the kids coming through and kind of train them on different drills and things. It gives them something different to do. Chris Kurtz sets up World War II equipment, large equipment, really large equipment. We got a lot of entertainment. Usually the opening ceremonies the Boy Scouts take care of. We got fiddlers and singers and cloggers. The Menace Mountain Hee-Haw Kids. That's a mouthful. If you haven't seen them, they're pretty cool. So they do a show for us. Can't forget the food. The Boy Scouts are there preparing some breakfast items. The Missouri Extension also has usually baked goods and coffee, and then the Lions Club has baked beans, cornbread, beef stew, brats, fries, a lot of good food. It's a family-friendly event, offering something for everybody. We got to say many thanks. As I say, there's so many more people involved in this than just the Lions Club helping us put this on. So we want to thank all our sponsors and volunteers, as well as the city and the Welcome Center people. They're always a great help. What else we got? An important factor is that we set up a roadblock at each end of the St. Mary's Road, and we asked for a donation, a minimum $3 donation on the adults, and that money is then donated to the elderly, the needy elderly of our community. It goes back to the elderly, and that part of our collections has worked out pretty well. What else we got? Okay, on that day, kind of in conjunction, they've kind of joined in with us in these other things that are going on. You always got the farmers market going on, and the historic homes are always open to visit. And I was talking to you about the spirit reading. And the reason I asked that question was that the spirit reading starts about 5:30 that evening, and you can tour the cemetery with candlelight and talk face to face with the spirits and such. Last year we had a very, very cold day. Hopefully we're going to have a better day this year.
Yeah.
So bottom line, I guess if you're fascinated with the past and the way our grandparents and their grandparents did it, come to Heritage Day on the 27th. Over to you, my man.
I'm going to speak about Leader Dogs for the Blind. One of the organizations that we contribute to is Leader Dogs for the Blind. They go strictly on donations. It's a not-for-profit organization. But speaking of blindness, blindness changes everything. Like Gene was saying, blindness changes everything. So for people who are blind or visually impaired, blind, you're just completely blind. Visually impaired, you have some vision. The visually impaired, the loss of sight is only the beginning of a life-changing reality. My sister, like I said a while ago, she was completely blind. She went to Missouri School for the Blind, and she'd only come home, it was in St. Louis, she'd only come home maybe once a month. There was one of the nights I was leaving her room, we were coming back, and we walked by a room where this girl, high school age girl, had been in a car wreck. She had lost her vision. So there's a life-changing reality. She had to start all over. So, I'm going to speak about Leader Dogs. Excuse me if I got some notes here. Leader Dogs for the Blind, they got a mission. So since 1939, Leader Dogs for the Blind has provided tools and training to reintroduce people who are blind or visually impaired to a life of independence, confidence, and community. Leader Dogs is the answer for thousands of people who are critical in needs of these services. Programs and life-changing and open doors to school, work, safety, and self-worth for many of the clients. And because they believe that every person deserves equal opportunity for travel independence, they don't incur any cost. They take care of it all. They've been in business since, it's a non-profit organization, they've been in business since 1939. There was 3 gentlemen in the Detroit area, Lions Club members, that had a friend that was losing his vision. And they approached there's the oldest Leader Dogs school in the country is in New Jersey. They approached them, and they wouldn't accept him because they wouldn't take donations from organizations. They had to come from individuals. So they went back and they did their own. So since the beginning of 1939, when those guys started it, they have paired over 14,000 dogs worldwide for visually impaired or blind people. An applicant, after being accepted into the program, travels to Rochester, Michigan, where they have their headquarters. And they spend 19 to 26 days there working with their dog. After that, they have like a little graduation ceremony and everything works out right. they officially take over their dog. The applicant incurs no expenses. It's free, and as long as they're in North America, then the expenses. Some of the training would include, but not be limited to, helping avoid obstacles, curbs, driveways, sidewalks, stopping at steps, negotiating traffic within reason. You know, my sister has there are several of these organizations in the United States, and my sister has a dog. And when she'd come to visit me in St. Genevieve, she needed to work the dog, practice a dog. So she would go up here at the corner where Goose Crensley Station was. She'd walk with the dog. I'd be behind her. I wouldn't say a word. Take the dog all the way down to Main Street, cross over, go all the way down to where Audubon is, cross the street there, come up by Audubon, all the way up behind the church, come back over to Goose's. And, you know, it's just her and the dog. And if you ever walk down, try walking down there with a blindfold on. There's trees, there's telephone poles, there's flower boxes. So, and the thing, when you do see someone with a dog, don't go up and pet the dog. If they get, especially if they get their harness on. If you're going to do anything with the dog, say something to the owner. Because I was reading an article that said to bother that dog is like taking the steering wheel out of a driver's hands. That's their car. That's their car. And if you can ask the people, but don't go up and pet the dog. They are a working dog. And you got some controversy in the country. You've got service dogs, you have therapy dogs, and you have comfort dog animals. These are service dogs. They have a job to do. They're trained. And people just, you've run into some complications on a nationwide basis, airlines and things like this. But these are service dogs, and there's differences. And thank goodness that the Lions Club has donated monies to Leader Dog to let these people have, and it allows them more independence. You can see blind people without any assistance. You can see blind people with a cane. You can see blind people with a dog. Now, they need help on occasion. They need help too. So, and it allows them more independence. And what we're talking about, my sister, there's computers for visually impaired or blind people. She told me one day, she said, Terry, if you're going to look up a word, you just go to the dictionary and look it up. She says, what was I going to do? So now she has a computer that's audible. And she learned typing skills in high school. She types it in, tells her a meaning. She can do research, and like I said, it's audible. She does research, it talks to her. And then now these things are expensive, very expensive. Because there's supply and demand, how that is in technology. But those things, and she has the initiative to want to do those things. So that's Leader Dog for the Blind, Rochester, Michigan. Any questions, comments?
Thank you for sharing that. That's extremely interesting.
I have about 5 kids in her family, 4 boys and a girl, and she's the only one she got
Without sight.
without that, And she did complicate things for her. She has hearing problems, severe hearing loss in one ear, and she ended up with a cochlear implant in the other ear. And she did research on a computer to find people in the world who were blind and got a cochlear implant. She did that on her own. So
Isn't it amazing how much we take eyesight for granted?
just walk down the road.
It's just amazing.
Well, that's like
Unbelievable.
one guy told me, he said, "You want to know what it's like there?" He said, "Put a blindfold in your house, and make it through the day." Put a blindfold on, and make it through the day. Yeah.
Wow.
You bet.
That's a good point of perspective.
Yeah.
Now, with me, I'd blindfold myself and I'd probably sit in my wine cellar. So, but I wouldn't go anywhere.
Jack keeps talking wine.
I will deliver, folks. I will deliver. Now is not the time or the place to be drinking a glass of white, red, or rosé.
I like this. Could I say one other thing about these ticket sales?
Yes.
I didn't mention it earlier. For those that are watching, these will be for sale at the Jour de Fête.
Yes.
So it's not just Lions that are buying these up. This is for the community, and there will be a booth set up, probably close to the beer booth ticket, right?
Right next to
Or-
the beer tickets.
Yeah, they will be for sale at the park that day. So,
Oh,
So what have you got for us?
well, we've got two other events that we really do. We do a French Heritage Day every year, and if nobody's been to the French Heritage Day, they have no idea what kind of good food the jambalaya and the beignets are. I'll say we got the best jambalaya and the best beignets in town. So that these need to come and try those out. Also, the Christmas walk. We are very, very into the Christmas walk. We give away every year during the walk between 250 and 275 hot dogs, chips, and water to the kids that come to the park. This is just part of another one of our ways of giving back to the community. We also sell chili and brats and hot dogs and stuff like that. But the main thing is we give away the hot dogs and everything. Every kid gets a little brown bag, and they can also have their picture taken with Santa Claus, with Mr. and Mrs. Claus usually. And we also do a roadblock, which also is another one of our fundraisers. All these things go to helping create our way of helping all the things international. Everything we do. We do the eyeglasses, we do the dog, we have kids' sight. We also have a screening program that we do at the local schools here at the St. John High School and the Valley School, where they come in and they take I think it's preschool and kindergartners, they test them, and they know immediately if there's something wrong. One story that I have to tell, I got an email one night from a local gentleman here in town. They had him and his wife had run across a hard stretch, and had his sister run across the hard stretch, and they had taken in her kids, and they didn't have enough money. One of the girls needed glasses. Well, they got a hold of the Lions Club. The Lions Club took care of it. He got a job, and he wanted to pay back for the glasses after he got a job and got settled. And I just told him, I said, well, we don't really expect anybody to pay back, but if you want to become a Lion and help other people the same way, well, they immediately become members. So, that's just something. One of the main reasons I got into it was I just cannot stand to think there's a kid in school that can't read because they can't see. And those are the ones that are always getting in trouble at school, because if they don't know what they're doing in the assignment, they just sit there and they don't do anything. And Terry can tell you that if they can't read, they're always in trouble. And once they get in trouble, well, it doesn't do any good. They just keep going further and further down. But if they can get glasses and start reading, it makes a tremendous difference in their world. Oh, talking about the elderly, for Heritage, the roadblock. Okay, we do the roadblock money. We donate it to an individual that takes care of different people. I would say that 90% of the people in rest homes right now only get $30 a month to buy essentials, toothpaste, tooth powder, whatever it is, toothbrushes, anything like that. That's all they get. The government takes the rest of it, or the rest home takes the rest of it for their room and board. And it's almost impossible to live on $30 a month, even if you're in a rest home. They're feeding you and everything, but how do they get if they want a new shirt or something, they don't have the money to buy it. So this just helps out tremendously. Oh, what else? Oh, those glass boxes that you see around town, it's got Lions Club on them. Those glasses are collected and turned in to the Lions Club. And they go through there and they do every glass, they magnify them or whatever it is they do, see what prescription they are and everything, repair them, and give them away. Last year, the local Lions Club and the people of St. Genevieve donated over 900 glasses in those boxes. We collected over 900 glasses in those boxes. So, the people are helping some, but we can always use new members.
Well, you know what? I'm sure you have more to share, but I don't want to miss this opportunity. We have about 10 minutes before we have to say goodnight. This is the perfect time to let people know how do you become a member? What are the criteria for membership? What are the dues? Where do you meet? When do you meet? The obvious, the why you meet. You've just spent 45 minutes telling us the why. But how does someone like me want to get involved?
What we do, you contact a Lions member.
Okay.
We will give you an application form to fill out. It's all your, just your name and address, email, and phone number, stuff like that. And then the board of directors will get together and vote on whether they want you as a member, think you're going to be, we're not real picky, but there are probably some that we'd want to maybe screen some, but usually just get a hold of a Lion member, tell them you'd like to become a Lion, like to help, and then they can go ahead, and then we meet generally 2 times a month, be the second and the fourth Wednesday, no, Tuesday, pardon me, second and fourth Tuesday now, we'll meet at the Cafe Genevieve, and we meet at 6 o'clock, we go through our everything, we'll eat, have our meal and everything, socialize, and then we'll get to all go through the meeting and discuss everything we need to do. And a lot of time it's where we want to disperse some of the money that we've got from all of these organizations where it needs to go.
Yeah, a lot of people may not be aware that 2 of the main tenets of having a 501c3 nonprofit designation is the gifting and scholarshiping of the monies that throughout the year you fundraised. And money coming in is translated as money going out, as long as it's going out, to, worthy recipients.
Well, we also give 2 scholarships.
I was just going to say,
every
the
year.
one thing that wasn't mentioned was your
Right,
scholarships to
scholarship.
graduating.
We give a $1,000 scholarship to an individual at the St. John High School, and we also give one to the Valley High School.
Now, have you folks created the criteria for that scholarship, or do you allow the 2 schools, to do their own thing? How does somebody apply, a graduating senior? How does he or she apply?
They've got criteria already there.
Okay.
But if the organization wants to specify additional criteria, you can let them know, and they usually go along with it.
Correct.
Because if, say, for instance, we have a Lions Club, one of our people has a child who's going to graduate, we're going to specify that, to them.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it reverts back to the original criteria.
Right. Child or grandchild, it could work
yeah,
either way.
yeah, right.
I would be remiss not to mention what a phenomenal relationship over the past year that the museum, the History Museum staff and the Lions Club have developed. And it started back almost a year ago with the solar eclipse.
Right.
And what could have been a day of us, the 2 organizations, butting heads while everybody else was having a good time, turned into a phenomenal friendship. And working together allowed the staff that works for me at the History Museum to see what it's truly like, to volunteer your time, for an event like that. And I've got to let people know that if it wasn't for the involvement of the Lions organization, our only big fundraiser last March, our casino night, wouldn't have happened. And we did publicly, we did thank the community in a newspaper ad, but I'd like to go on record saying that, without your assistance, we wouldn't have had our lone fundraiser a year ago, which, by the way, we're planning on doing again, and thank you for joining us again this year, and I'll fill you in on the specifics.
Well, one thing I want to say is that anybody that missed the casino night last year, they missed a lot of fun.
Oh, it was a ball.
Because it was a ball there, it really was. If you wasn't there, you just don't know what you missed.
Yeah, well, we're planning on doing it again. We're planning on partnering with you folks again, and we don't look at it as our big fundraiser. We look at it as a night to socialize with a bunch of really decent people in town. We've got less than 5 minutes. We don't want to go right up to the hour because Charles down on the board, and now is a good time for me to say thank you, Charles, for giving up an hour of your time so we could do this. He needs a little bit of wiggle room to, put the tiles up in the thank yous, but we've got about 3 minutes before I say my good nights. Is there anything else that you'd like to cover? Anything else you'd like to say?
I just want to say one thing in closing, because we didn't really cover it. We have been a club since 1931, was when our club was chartered. And last year, 2017, was our 100th anniversary of Lions International. So, and the other thing that we really didn't say was our motto is we serve, and we do. That's what we're here for. No matter what it is, we're here to serve.
And I hope that this show spreads your word to people that are unaware that you do far more than pick up those little yellow boxes with the logos on it that has glasses in. I mean, it's an amazing organization, and you should be proud of your place in the community.
Well, the best part of it is, I think I can say it for everybody, at least in this room, is that we have fun doing what we do.
That's so important. And before we close, I want to share something with you. I have a booth, a wood turning booth on Jour de Fête. I'm with the Rotary, so there's the duck races that I should make a token appearance. We keep the museum open, so I put some time in there. But I always find time those 2 days to sneak over to the park. I'm glad you're there. I'm really glad you're there.
Got the coldest beer in town.
Yeah, yes you. Oh, I wouldn't know about that because I'm not drinking those 2 days.
Yeah.
Anything else, folks?
Appreciate your having us.
Well, no,
Appreciate
you know what? Thank you. I'm the one that should be thanking you because as a new member of the community, I've only been here 7 years. I'm still kind of learning the lay of the land, and it was, me questioning myself about my involvement with the Rotary that spurred the idea, well, why don't we spotlight other 501c3 groups, organizations? And if we do this every 3 months within the course of the year, we'll have a log of 501c3s that are home-based right here in St. Genevieve. And I mean, literally, the world could see this program if they tune into it. You've got friends and members in other organizations, in other towns, cities, or states. Let them know about this, and maybe this'll jumpstart a public relations campaign of information. Because what you've shared with me tonight, I think other people heard for the first time some of what you folks are involved with. And again, thank you so much for being here tonight. Those of you that are viewing this live, thank you for tuning in. Those of you that will see this over on YouTube, I hope you enjoy the information. It's a great organization. I'm pleased to be associated with them through the friendship that the museum and the Lions Club have developed in a short 12-month span. With that, thank you all. Thank you all. Charles, thank you. He's running the board. Got to give him some love as well.